Check in on shares in Ivanhoe Mines. That's Robert Friedland's company that is building a giant copper mine in the DRC.
Mining tycoon Robert Friedland. For those who aren't familiar with Friedland and his long history in the mining industry, tell us a little bit more about who he is.
Well, he's just famed for having something of a Midas touch. Actually, that brings us to another story this morning, Voisey's Bay.
Robert, you're developing one of the highest grade copper deposits ever found.
Well, as promised, we're going to talk about that gigantic Oyu Tolgoi mine, developing into one of the largest copper operations in the world.
Let's start with your copper output in the Congo, because of course that was what was thought to be a risky business. But
if copper stays at 10 or rises to 15 or rises to 20, what happens? Where's all the copper going to come from?
Our group has been all over this planet for the last 35 years. And we can make a pretty honest count at having worked in 59 countries. And you know, they're similar and different, those 59 places. And over this 35 years, our technology and our experience has improved. In our world, the geologists are the gods, you know. In our world, that's where it all comes from, you know.
I remember asking Doug Kerwin, you know, what's it like to work for Robert? and he was all thumbs up. It was the best decision I ever made in my career, I would say.
Robert's probably unique in many ways. Many of my colleagues who work for major companies or have worked for major companies, I know that they've had internal seminars and sessions trying to analyze why is Robert and Ivanhoe so successful, because none of them can duplicate, not even come close to his levels of success.
You know, if there's one thing Robert is famous for and is superb at is discovery. He has that, you know, sort of intangible knack of putting his finger on things and having people that are able to make those discoveries too, to motivate those people. His sense of I suppose curiosity and drive is what makes him successful at that. You know, never giving up on projects and always seeing new opportunities in old projects that other people have turned aside. And so much of that is certainly true at Kamoa and Platte Reef as well. You know, properties that people completely discounted, ridiculed almost.
There are a few other successful entrepreneurs around, but when you look at Robert's career over, say, the last 30 years, I actually presented this sometimes in conferences to students and others, that over that period, he's made or his exploration teams have made 7 absolutely virgin discoveries where there was no record of any commodities, Voisey's Bay being, of course, one of them. They are spread over 10 countries and cover 12 commodities.
And that's how you discover things. You know, you're willing to take those risks and fail and fail again until you succeed and you succeed big.
In mining, our mission is to look ahead 5 or 10 years or longer and see what members of the periodic table are going to be required to develop a better world and to properly understand what metals have a bright future. And then we have to get there ahead of everybody else and mine those metals in a sustainable way, in a way where the benefit is shared with the local people around those metallic deposits and still be at the low end of the world cost curve. Sounds easy. There's nothing easy about it.
I've lived through diamond fields, Turquoise Hill, and a number of other wonderful assets. So let's look at some of the qualities of the man. He is an extremely intelligent individual. He sees opportunities. He's a visionary. He can map out things that in his mind are going to happen 8 to 10 to 12 years ahead. He never gives up on a property, always looks for the best side of it, and time has rewarded him with a lot of great assets and great value for his assets.
And we know, because after 30, 40 years in the business, we know how tough it is to find a mine, to engineer a mine, to construct a mine, and run a mine responsibly. And then what are you mining, and why are you mining it? And who are you selling it to? What's the end use? The whole thing is going to be looked at systemically.
There are lots of serially successful people who have contributed to the success in my career, financing them. But I would suggest that Robert's track record in exploration, not merely in acquisition, but in exploration, is unparalleled among my own generation. If you think back to Fairbanks, Gross Rosebel, which he doesn't get credit for, Voisey's Bay, Oyu Tolgoi, Kamoa Kakula, Flat Reef. That's more Tier 1 discoveries than any one leader is supposed to accomplish with his or her team. How did he do it? Well, he kept trying. Robert swung for the fences. Other people's exploration activities would wax and wane depending on their ability to raise money, depending on their mood. Robert's never faltered, never ever faltered. But the other tenets, separate and apart from persistence and tenacity, are curiosity. Robert's curious about everything. And with his enthusiasm, he inspires curiosity in other people. It's interesting to know that high performers, we talked about Doug Kerwin earlier, are drawn to Robert, are intensely loyal to Robert, because his curiosity and his support of their curiosity was infectious. A good salesman, to be sure, the best salesman, all things considered, that I've ever met. But more than that, a corporate strategist and a corporate tactician, all rolled into one thing. This blazing intelligence, this drive, this persistence, this tenacity, this curiosity, all have combined to make Robert and the people around him the serial success that is really one in a generation.
And now we're very excited about the United States. We think the United States is very underexplored. Even Joe Biden has said he will support the mining of copper in the United States because they know they need it. And there's a long list of metals the United States Department of Defense wants for America's national security. So, we saw this coming, and we've been taking a hard look at projects in those states in the United States where we think you can get a social license to mine, where it can be done properly and consciously. And a lot of that terrain is amenable to disruptive exploration technology, which we have developed. We have Typhoon, which is a technology that enables us to separate the haystack from the needle. So that's the essential paradigm in metals exploration, is to separate the haystack from the needle.
Robert, my very sincere congratulations on your induction to the American Mining Hall of Fame. To be honest, I'm a bit surprised it's taken so long. You, of all people, embody the grand adventure that makes this industry what it is. You have a track record of successful discovery and development, and no doubt this has been very hard won, achieved through smarts, willingness to take on risk, ability to engage and excite others, and most of all, an absolute belief in your mission and determination to prevail. As someone who loves this industry and admires you and what you've achieved, it's really pleasing to see your contributions being recognized in this way. Very well deserved. I hope it's a great evening and one befitting of the occasion. Congratulations again, Robert.
Robert, congratulations on being inducted into the Mining Hall of Fame. I wish I could be with you. It takes 1 nanosecond for anyone to be with Robert Friedland to know that you're with somebody that's unique. Robert's energy, entrepreneurship, focus, attention is breathtaking. Robert, little did either one of us think when we were growing up that someday each of us would be in the Mining Hall of Fame, but here we are. Well deserved, congratulations, and good luck for the future. Our industry has a bright future ahead of it, and we know the two of us are going to be part of it.